So you open up Premiere, you'll get this. You just go to new project here. What I want to show you is how to get yourself organized. So what I recommend is making like a little folder. I call this one video editing, but it could be project 1 or whatever your project's called. Make a folder, and in there, store your videos in a folder, if you're using still images, store those in a folder, and then store your music in a folder. Keep yourself as organized as possible, label things. The other thing that people have gotten in a bad habit of is they'll go new project, they won't title it, they'll leave it untitled. So I'm gonna do class video demo. I'm gonna title it. Please title everything. Also, it's equally important because I've noticed people have gotten lazy, both with labeling their projects and actually knowing where their Premiere and their project files are. I don't understand it, but like this is a thing now. Every time I come in, I say to the student, where's your project file? They just, well, I open the project and go open recent. You should know the location you're storing your project. I appeal to you to do that. So I'm gonna go right here to the location. I'm gonna browse for the location. I'm going to go in to my course links. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to put it in the folder where my project is. So I'm now saving my Premiere project inside of my project and knowing exactly where the project file is located, and go, okay. Now I know if I go here into this folder here and I go into my video editing folder, there's the Premiere project. I know exactly where my project file is. I'm not just like opening the program, praying that the computer put it somewhere and is going to find it. I personally know where that file is located and I have it labeled. It's my lecture on keeping yourself organized. Okay, so when you open Premiere, there are 3 main areas that you'll be focusing on. Here's where your project is called the project, and here's where it kind of labels it. And here's where you import your video, your pictures, and your music in here. And there's this thing called effect controls up here that I'll talk about in a minute. And then if you don't see, Premiere stacks windows along one another, and it gives these little arrows. If you can't see a window, you click on these, and there's effects. So the 3 main windows that I talk about all the time will be effects, effect controls, and your project area. In recent years, Premiere has done these like tabs at the top. These are all workspaces. And what they do is they shift these windows around on you. If you're really versed in Premiere, it's handy. If you're a first-time user, it's really confusing. So really take note of, you want to be over here in editing. That's the one that I recommend. Just so that you're getting like an awareness of the interface, how it works. Everything is located under window, all these window tabs. So you can see here, effects is check marked. Now I'm going to right click on here and I could go import, and I could go and find where the project is right here. Here's all the stuff I want to bring in, and I could go and I could bring it all in manually if I wanted to. I'm going to import the music. So I selected the music, go import. It imports the music in here. I keep myself organized by using bins. So down in here, here's a new bin. I'm going to click it. I'm going to call this music. And then I can drag the music up in here to keep myself organized. So you can import everything. You can import all your files in there, keep yourself organized, make music. But here is a very handy way if you don't want to make bins. Premiere in recent years allows you to keep yourself organized on your desktop. So here's, I already brought in the music. I can just go here onto my desktop into these 2 folders, the pic and the videos, select them, and drag them over here, and it imports them. And it brings them in the bins or the folders already. This here inside of Premiere is called a timeline. Then all you essentially do, you come over to your video. I'm going to shift select all of these videos, and I'm going to drag them over here into the timeline. So I just drag them over, and the little plus symbol comes up, pops them in, and I'm good to start video editing. This thing here is called a scrubber, timeline scrubber. Move it over the timeline, and I can see all the videos that I want to make a little compilation. So I thought it would be fun to make a tutorial compilation video, because since I already have a ton already. So here's all the videos here. So the basics of video editing are this tool here. You select, and the razor blade. There's all these other tools that you can play around with, but really if you're just getting going in Premiere, the selection tool and the razor blade tool are the most important. Also, zoom in. I like to hit the Z key, zoom in here, get tighter into the video line, figure out what area you want to isolate. If you want to zoom out, hit the Alt key down, see how that changes to minus. It goes from the plus to the minus by hitting the Alt, so you can zoom out. Also, there's zoom down here. You can zoom in and zoom out with this scrubber down here. I'm going to hit V. That's the shortcut key for the selection tool. Move my scrubber around. Let's say I want to come in and I'm making this piece of tape here, and I want to slice that. I go over to the razor blade tool, which is the C, is the shortcut key for that, C key. Click that, and you slice it. You move the scrubber over to another location here. Let's stop right there. Now I want to get rid of this area here. Just go to the selection tool, select and delete it. Select and delete. So I have this here. I have these gaps that I want to get rid of. You can move these around that way to get rid of the gaps. You can also select the gap, right click, and ripple delete. If you want part of your video back that you've deleted, you can just zoom in, go to the selection tool, hover over the end, and you can drag that back so nothing's ever gone. You can reclaim video that you've deleted if you want just by dragging it, or delete video this way. If there's something you want it deleted a little further in, you just do that. So that's honestly the basics of video editing. You have your scrubber, you scrub along, figure out what you want, what you don't want, and razor blade and delete. Based on audio, how do I separate audio from the video? So you can always go and mute a track, which I find problematic. Let's say if I brought some other sound in here and now I've completely muted the entire track, then it's not going to be playing. So I rarely mute tracks permanently. Let me show you the effect controls. So here's an option. So you have the audio, you want the audio gone. Up here in effect controls, here's your volume control. There's your volume level. You can just take that and drag that completely down, and now there's no audio. Or you can increase the audio here. So increase and decrease the audio. Or click off the clip, press and hold the Alt key, select the audio, and now the audio is selected separately from the video. Or click the video, and now the video is selected separately from the audio. Select the one you don't want and hit delete. Now the audio is gone. Now I only want this audio, but I want the audio under this video. Click off of this, hold the Alt key down, click the video, delete, and now I have the audio. So the audio from this track and the video from that track, and then I can combine them together that way. This is me doing the master disguise on myself. Boom, 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 I'm doing this. And you're like, that is way better sped up, Waldeck, honestly. I'm gonna delete that. I don't want the audio on that. Hold the Alt key, delete. Now I want to speed this video up as like some fast playthrough instead of real time. How do I do that? Right click. You will find speed and duration. This is where I speed it up. You can also reverse speed here if you want. I don't want to do it, but that's how you reverse a clip. I'm going to speed that up to, let's say, 600. That clip becomes smaller because it's now sped up. So that's not sped up quite enough. Right click on it again, go back to speed duration. Let's pick 1500. Let's see what, no, 1500 is what I wanted. There we go. That should be plenty fast enough. So I'm going to move that clip over here. I want to get rid of this area here. Right click, ripple delete. Now you know how to speed up video. What if I wanted myself out of here and I wanted to just to emphasize my face and get rid of all of this stuff? What I need to do now is I need to scale this up. Where that is located is in the effect controls. So I have the clip selected here. Sometimes when you double click, it goes over to the source, but the effect controls are right here. You just have to click off of the window and go over here. It's in motion. Open up the motion. There's my scale and position. So I'm going to scale this up now. I like clicking over here and getting these arrows and then just scaling up with the arrows. And I can slide the position around as needed. Now you know about scaling and position changing in effect controls. I want to animate the zoom, let's say, the scale of it. So this little stopwatch here in the effect controls, if you hover over it, it says toggle animation. So if I click it, it enables the animation. It's now active. It puts this thing over here that I call a diamond. It's actually a keyframe. So it's saying at this position in space and time, It's a scale of 170 and whatever these position variables are. Move the scrubber over. Let's scale it down. Let's make it smaller. You see, as I start making it smaller, you see what it did there? It added another keyframe. So now at this point in space, the scale is 99. So it should go from 170 to 99. That's how you animate things. You move these further apart, the slower the animation is going to go. So that's going pretty slow. If I want that going faster, what I would do is move these closer together. And there it goes, faster. It's a bit off to this side here, so I'm going to have to keyframe the position. So I'm going to move this to line here. There's my scrubber. You see when I move the scrubber up here, it also moves it down here. When I move it down here, it'll move it up top too. So it's the same clip, but just in a different window. So move the scrubber right here, toggle the position animation. I want this pushed over this way. So just move that over here. So if I hit play there, it holds there, and now it starts animating back in space there. So now I have all of my clips in place that I want. I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to get rid of this audio. Press and hold the Alt key, or key select both of those, delete. Now the audio is gone. Now I want to put a transition. I will say I want something fancy happening from the mushroom frame to the skull frame. I just don't want it to go kerplunk. I don't want to just a sharp edit. I want a transition. So here, just to back that up, effect controls. Here I am inside of my project area. I like the list view in the project area. I just thought of this right now. But you might want to go into the icon view. You can have them as icons bigger here if you want. But I like the list view. So project area. Three main things. Effect controls, project area, and now effects. Here are under effects or video transitions. And you can go and you can explore tons of video transitions. You basically grab the transition, you click and drag it, put it in between the clip here. I'm going to zoom in, it's super small. If I don't want this, select the transition, delete it. Let's try that again. Drag that over. There it goes in between the clip. And there's that transition. If I want the transition lasting longer, I click the transition, go to the end, and drag it, and now that will be longer. So that'll be a much slower transition. And the closer it is together, the faster it goes, just like the keyframing. So another not very exciting thing is when this happens in Premiere. This area here it goes from yellow to red. Yellow is good. It shows you kind of like gives you an idea about how it's going to play back in real life, real time. When it goes to red, it means that there's a lot going on here that the computer is having trouble rendering it out and previewing it for you. What you want to do is there's a mark in and a mark out point, and this defines a work area. So now this gray area is called a workspace or work area. I go up to sequence, which is my sequence, and you can go render effects into out. So if I go render or render into out, it's going to change this entire thing from yellow and red to green. It now tells you that it's rendered it, and the computer can play that back and give you a better preview of what it looks like in real life. So just be warned that there's this thing called rendering. If you see a red line here, it means that the program's struggling to give you a preview of it. Premiere is linked to these files on your computer, and it is previewing them for you. They're not actually in the program. So it's kind of streaming it for you, so it's previewing it. And when that red comes up, it's almost like bad Wi-Fi, right? So you need to render it out and improve the flow of the video so you can see what it's going to look like when you make it a video. There's also video effects. So if you're on the video here and you want to throw an effect on there, but under image control, sometimes people want to go and make a black and white. So you can drag a black and white on there, and that turns it to black and white. So when I throw the black and white on here, whatever video effect I throw on the video, it will come up into the effect controls here, and there's black and white right there. I can turn this effect off and on and all that business. So when you have it here in Premiere, your video is not done. Let's say if you have this completely edited, you're like, this is the perfect project. The next step is export, and you export this as a video out of Premiere, MP4 video or QuickTime or whatever that is.